there's the sounder once again. And unfortunately, there are a lot of sounders going around the world. Ambulance sirens, take cover sirens, all throughout Eastern Europe. In the tragedy of the war that's going on, there are all kinds of bad sounds going on. Well, this gets your attention, and of course, I think perhaps even the title gave a little bit of a, hey, maybe I ought to listen to this program. Well, it's an interesting idea, and I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to take it from somebody else, and I'll give them full attribution. But here's the point. Could any of us today pass the Zielinskyy Test? Could any of us pass the Zielinskyy Test? Well, that's an interesting idea, an interesting thought, and that's what we do on this program, so we're going to do it. This program starts right now. Indeed, it is a messy Monday, the 14th of March. As I got ready to put this program together, my wife said to me, things are getting worse in Ukraine. At the same time, I had just recently had a conversation within the last couple hours with a friend of mine who goes way back many years. In fact, we did some mission work together. And he has been at it. He's been working in Moscow and Eastern Europe, working to help equip people in community and business development. In the name of Jesus, he's right there. He's brave, he's bold, he's strong. The KGB used to be after him, and he would stand them down and stare them down. He was there, kept all the rules, but he was there to help people build a life and build a business, and he's been doing it for years. And he has a network of men and women throughout Eastern Europe who, and many of them are in Poland and in Ukraine and some of the other areas surrounding there. And they're involved in some very, very good work. And right now, of course, their good work is primarily rescue and self-preservation work. We're thinking of, and I offered to him in our conversation, we're going to put all of the technology that we have at store because we know how to do podcasts. And we're trying to put together where through social media links, we're going to produce podcasts that go all around the world, but particularly for those people in special groups, special sectors, special niche markets who we could comfort, encourage, give instructions to, and perhaps most importantly, give assistance and prayer for one another. So right now, we're trying to put that podcast network together. We can do it. And if any of you would be willing to help sponsor it, please reach out to me. We would be more than happy to give you even a little bit of a shout out for it. But if you would like to help us sponsor these podcasts to the Ukraine, we would be welcoming that contribution. And by the way, if you want, we can even do it so that you can get a tax deduction for it through our mission organization, through our nonprofit 501c3. We can do that for you, and I hope you will do that for us. But here, let's talk about Zelenskyy. I give great credit to John F. Harris, and this was in Politico over the weekend, and he simply said that, hey, in effect, what happened? Could it be that he's ready to die, and why most people flunk the Zielinskyy test? Now, of course, here we go. Zelenskyy has that incredibly good line. He says, "This might be the last time you see me alive. This might be the last time you see me alive." He told European leaders in a conference call shortly after his country was invaded, and he repeated the words a few days later as he pleaded with House and Senate members for U.S. assistance. First of all, I think many of you may know, but the guy was not a politician. He's an actor, a comedy actor. That's what he was. And by the way, acting is a very good preparation for leading. In fact, I tell people who want to be leaders, two things you never thought you should do. First of all, it would be very good if you would actually have some performance training. Now, that could be acting. You are going to have to give performances. If you are going to be a leader, you're going to have to be good at it. So be a little bit humble and admit you don't know everything and get some coaching and some help in how to be a performer. To be on stage, to persuade and influence and inspire and give people hope. That's your job. Also, learn how to use the media. The radio, the television, how to speak to a much broader audience. Learn how to do those things. Now, of course, many of them just laugh at me because, let me tell you this, most CEOs are dumb. Now, they're really good, perhaps, at organizing their business. But when it comes to the art of being able to be leaders, most CEOs right now are merely caretakers of companies. They are not leaders, they are not inventors, they are not innovators, and oftentimes they are simply at the mercy of their stock market price and a board that really doesn't care about the company. They just want stock earnings. Heck of a job, and most of them aren't very good at it, but it's a bad job to begin with. However, Zelenskyy has that line down. This is the last time. You might be the last. This might be the last time you see me. Boy, does he have their attention. He knows how to do that. So I want you to somehow think about that way, but then take it even further. As Mr. Harris says, here's where we fail. His message is a barely cloaked taunt for everyone cheering him from a distance. He's saying, how much are you willing to sacrifice for your beliefs? How much are you willing to sacrifice for your beliefs? Here he is, perhaps hours away from his own death. And he said, I'm going to stay here. They might kill me. That's how much I'm willing to sacrifice for my beliefs. Now, the fact that Zelenskyy, joined by vast numbers of his fellow Ukrainians, is willing to sacrifice everything makes him a clarifying agent in the great contest of the age between free societies and despotic ones. For the past generation, liberal democracy and individual freedom have been defeated by tyranny in multiple arenas. Did you know that? The reasons are diverse, but unified by a common truth. Most people, on most occasions, aren't willing to follow the Ukrainian example. Never mind risking death or prison, people aren't willing to sacrifice career prospects or everyday material comforts by standing up to autocrats. 9/11 or the other fighters that same day who raced up the burning World Trade Center, all of them caused many people to interrogate themselves. Would I have done that in those circumstances? If you had school-aged children, as Zelenskyy does, would you stay and fight for your country? Or would you become part of the massive line of refugees? Most people, thankfully, never get to learn how they would respond in such an existential crisis. But there is a lot of evidence of what people tend to do in less dramatic circumstances of everyday life. They look to compromise. They seek to avoid a fateful choice. They try to muddle through until tomorrow. There we go. There's more to the article, and by the way, I would encourage you to reach out to it. As I said, it's in an issue of Political, and it is from the it is from March 12th, and the man's name is John Harris. Way to go. Challenging. Please read it for yourself, as I have learned a great deal from it, and I give him full commendations and compliments for that incredible article. By the way, later on we may even talk about how the fact that Zelenskyy has that acting skill, that performing skill, might be also a part of what he can do. Hey, there we go. I'm Stan Houston. This is Interesting Ideas. Please let some of this stuff sit on your head for a while. Let's take a quick break, and I'll be back. One of the things I've told business leaders all the time, and they never take me seriously, but it's true. All business is show business. One of the reasons that Ronald Reagan was so good, he was an actor. One of the reasons Donald Trump got elected was he had incredible television performance skills. In fact, Trump in 2016 was the only one who actually had media training. All the rest of the has-beens didn't have it. And of course, Biden would have never won if he would have had to display his full talents through the entire campaign. But the COVID thing worked for him in that respect. So I'm going to encourage you. One of the things we do in the master's class and what we do for What It Takes Radio, I'm here to be the person who can teach you how to reach your audience. You have an audience. It needs to go. It needs to grow. It needs to expand. And if you have wisdom, insight, and truth, if you have good things, good stuff, and good ideas, you need to learn how to share them. And we can help you do just that. So reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com. That's stanhouston@gmail.com. And always stay tuned. We come to you 3 to 4 times a week, maybe 5. It all depends. That's one of the great wonders of the podcast radio network. We don't have to be there all the time, every time, because you can listen to us on anything, anytime on the program. So all the best and blessings, and God bless us all, everyone. And may great mercy be shown to all of us in these messy, miserable, muddled times. Blessings on you, and bye for now.